Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matthew Kahn of Risk and Insurance Magazine and Dave North, CEO of Sedgwick CMS.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2011 Risk and Insurance Theodore Roosevelt and Prevent Awards presentation. As publisher and executive editor of the magazine, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us here today. I'd also like to say a special thank you to David North, CEO of Sedgwick, for sponsoring the Teddy Awards, and to Stephen Brown, the CEO of Precare, for sponsoring our new National Employee Injury Prevention Award, which we call the Prevent. Now I'd like to give Dave a few moments just to say a few words.
Thank you.
Sure.
Teddy Roosevelt was a man of great leadership, integrity, and wisdom. He forged paths where none had been. As the nation's 26th president, he emphasized safe working conditions and introduced important legislation in where the workers' compensation system is based today. It was Teddy Roosevelt who once proclaimed, "Far and away, the best that life has to offer is a chance to work hard at work worth doing." I can't think of a better way to introduce this year's Teddy Award winners: Geldwind, the town of Islip, New York, and the U.S. Army. Each of these organizations has truly earned the prize in their unwavering commitment to the protection and the care of their colleagues. Moreover, their ingenuity and best practices offer far-reaching applications to the entire American workforce. On behalf of Sedgwick CMS, it is a real honor and a privilege to sponsor the 2011 Teddy Awards. It is particularly meaningful as we celebrate the 100-year anniversary of the system that we call workers' compensation. The continued discussion and exploration of new ideas cannot stop here. It is incumbent upon each of us as industry leaders to continue to challenge conventional thinking and find new ways to increase productivity while protecting and caring for the most skilled, valued, and sophisticated workforce on the planet. To each of our Teddy Award winners, we applaud your efforts and thank you for the challenge that you lay before us. To you, we offer our sincerest congratulations because you have indeed achieved life's best prize.
Thanks, Dave. We are here to honor and congratulate 3 companies that have led by example with their stellar workers' compensation and injury prevention programs. Those of us in the workers' comp and disability arena know that there are stiff challenges to succeed in today's struggling economy. Chief among the obstacles are companies producing more with fewer experienced employees. This environment can trigger a deluge of employee injury claims if innovative programs are not initiated. Before we recognize each of our winners, here's a brief description of the Teddy and Prevent Awards competition. To enter, nominees fill out an extensive application form that can take hours to complete. It asks companies to specify in detail how their workers' compensation programs work and the effectiveness of those efforts. We ask for 5 years of claims data to back up the application. We thank all the companies and nonprofit entities that took the time and considerable effort to enter. It was a difficult choice selecting the winners. We looked for programs that succeeded in preventing injuries, but also in treating injuries and managing the claims process. Another critical element is that we look for initiatives that show innovation. Again this year, we had Fortune 500 companies apply among the for-profit entries. Numerous organizations, including cities, states, and national universities, applied on the nonprofit side. Finalists are selected, and each is evaluated on a scale from 1 to 5 in 4 specific categories. The results are totaled, and now today we will announce the winners. But first, I'd like to acknowledge our judges who spend many hours evaluating the entries. They are Michael Palandino of Virginia Commonwealth University Health System Authority, and Carrie Dove of Nissan North America, both of whom won Teddy Awards last year. Richard Pimentel and his business partner Milt Wright, both principals of Milt Wright and Associates. John Kopelman of Lynch Ryan and Associates and author of a well-known workers' comp blog. Michael Weiss, Director of Risk Management at AT&T, which won a Teddy Award 4 years ago, and Maddie Bowling, who writes a column for our Workers' Comp Forum website and is a respected claims management consultant. Maddie also served as the lead judge for our Prevent Award this year. Yolanda Romero, another former Teddy Award winner who manages workers' compensation for the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, and Peter Rumanier, the risk and insurance workers' comp columnist. Now I'd like to introduce Paul Baumberger, editor of Risk and Insurance. Paul?
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to introduce the 2011 Teddy Award winners. The Theodore Roosevelt for-profit award winner is Geldwin Incorporated. The Oregon-based company is a global manufacturer of wood, vinyl, and aluminum windows and patio exterior and garage doors. The company employs more than 19,000 people, about 8,000 of them in the United States. Geldwin's board of directors in 2003 made employee safety one of the company's highest priorities. The previous year, the company had incurred 1,967 workers' comp claims at its U.S. operations. An ambitious goal was set to reduce claims by 75%. A company analysis of the types and frequency of the claims found the majority of them came from new employees within 6 months of starting work, and workers with repeat injuries who filed 2 or more claims. With that in mind, Geldwin implemented pre-hire employment testing of job candidates and an ergonomics program to minimize employee injuries and lacerations from the gripping, lifting, and handling of its windows and doors during production. The results speak for themselves. In 2010, there were only 385 workers' comp injuries and claims at Geldwin's U.S. facilities. And today, new hires account for only a little more than 12% of claims. That's a big reduction from 40% of total claims before the company began the comprehensive pre-hire testing. Accepting the 2011 Theodore Roosevelt Award for Geldwin are Kelly Beagle, Vice President of Risk Management, and Marcia Sorum, Global Claims Manager.
Thank you. On behalf of the 8,000 U.S. employees, 19,000 global employees that Geldwin has, thank you. I'd like to express our gratitude to Risk and Insurance Magazine, Sedgwick CMS, and the panel of judges. I can tell you there is a great deal of excitement across the company right now for receiving such a prestigious award. It's definitely been a team effort from our executive level down to the employees on the plant floor. A couple of our partner companies I'd like to acknowledge for their assistance in this process was Broadspire and Insight Worldwide. I'd also like to acknowledge the risk management team, starting with Marcia Sorum, our claims manager, Jeff Barker, our director of insurance, Karen Olson, our director of field services, Woody Sine, our director of information and technology. And I'd also like to give special recognition to our chief administrative officer who joined us today, Ron Saxton, who's been extremely supportive of the risk department. Thank you.
The winner of the 2011 Theodore Roosevelt Award in the nonprofit category is the town of Islip, New York. Municipalities have been facing serious financial pressures over the past few years, so the last thing they need is fraud and abuse in their workers' compensation and disability programs. but that's what Islip faced a few years ago. While some of the town's employees were legitimately injured on the job, many workers were milking the system. In 2006, the worst year, the town recorded 3,600 lost workdays from its 1,000 employees. An Islip official said at the time, and I quote, "To a certain extent, the employees were treating disability and workers' comp like a supplemental pension." Now, 5 years later, a culture of abuse and mismanagement has been replaced by an innovative, no-nonsense approach to workers' comp and disability. It's made quite a difference for local taxpayers and Islip's bottom line. Lost workdays fell from 3,553 in 2007 to 1,314 in 2010, a 63% drop. That's equivalent to 11 additional employees available to come to work daily. And total annual workers' comp claims declined from 353 in 2007 to 107 in 2010, a 70% reduction. Accepting the 2011 Teddy Award for the town of Islip are Robert Finnegan, Director of Personnel and Labor Relations, and Sean Brady, Islip's outside risk management consultant.
On behalf of Supervisor Philip Nolan and the Islip Town Board and the 345,000 employees that reside in the town of Islip, we accept this honor on behalf of our Teddy Roosevelt, President of the United States, who created this award. I would also like to acknowledge Sedgwick CMS Corporation for sponsoring this event and highlighting the importance of improving employee safety and employee availability. I would also like to thank Risk and Insurance Magazine, Matt Kahn, Paul Baumgardner, and as well as a wonderful writer, Jared Shelley, who did a great job on the article about the town of Islip. Part of that improvement in our workers' compensation and disability program was working with some professionals that assisted us in focusing our attention to improve employee availability and the safety of our employees. I'd like to thank Sean Brady and Perry Rome from Brady Risk Management, Joseph Peckham from EBS Remsco, Joe is right over here, and as well as Dominic Del Basso from Arthur J. Gallagher and Associates. Again, thank you very much for this award as well. We appreciate the acknowledgement. Thank you.